You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
And welcome to the monumental, mind-blowing, milestoning 10th episode of The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the edge of civility.
That's 9 more than you were expecting, folks.
Wasn't it, though? We have a new tagline as well.
Oh, yeah?
I made it up just for thecomicforums.com, where you can find us at any point and rant all you want, tell us to fuck off, do whatever you please.
Someone, please, comment. AJ cries at night.
Yeah, incessantly. My pillow is moldy now from the tears.
That's not from tears.
Our new tagline.
Yes.
Irritating comics readers, one podcast at a time.
I don't know, I still like the your mom one.
Your mom likes us? Your mom doesn't like it?
Your mom doesn't like us, but that's okay.
Hey, we don't like her either. You can find us on www.themeangeek.com, where you can subscribe to our RSS feed. You can find us on iTunes, and however you feel like using feedburner.google.com. It's all the same. You can email us at themeanergeek@gmail.com, or the Rev's address, which he's forgetting.
Home or email?
Email.
Email. Oh, okay. That would be
What do you want, bombs sent to the house?
madduck@hotmail.com.
Or, well, no, I'm not going to put that email address in because nobody cares to spell out Josephus. Right. So, we're back to a stack. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Right after this pimp for Kurt's Comics in Branford, Connecticut. In Connecticut, it's Kurt's. So, we got a pile. We got some trades.
We do.
And we got a goofy little list.
Yes, we do.
We got a little something I picked up off of Wired. I'm not sure if the copyright is going to be legal, but fuck them, you know. So let's start right off with Battle for the Cow, Oracle, The Cure, number 2. As you noted earlier, the cover is probably the best thing about this book. With the
Kitty has big titties.
the tatas, so to speak, the big boobies. Now, I did enjoy the. I like the art. The art's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's expressive enough.
Oracle is actually slowly becoming an extremely interesting character.
Yep.
It's just that we're dealing with the I'm killing you with a video game storyline that has failed in so many different medias.
And that irritates the shit out of me. Being a computer professional, feedback from a virtual reality game drives me up the goddamn wall. There's a lot I'll accept in comics. Like I said last week, there is a whole lot I will accept because it's fucking comic books. But blowing people up from a video game, not one of them.
Not so good.
I will finish it out because I do want to see, how it finishes. I'm a big fan of completing things if they're not too horribly painful.
And since you bought that whole Star Trek.
Which whole Star Trek? You bought the Star Trek for me.
No, the series that we just read.
Countdown, the prelude to the apparently well-received new Star Trek movie.
Unknown to us.
I've known a couple of people that have seen it. They were shocked and appalled that I hadn't caught it opening weekend. But after the Iron Man debacle last year, where I felt like a fucking retiree because I had to get the manager to yell at some goddamn teenagers, I don't do opening weekends anymore.
I have no time for that.
So, it's worth finishing. Not sure what else we can really say about the
Here's
Cure.
my major issue with the Oracle series. It's a miniseries, right? 3 issues?
Yep.
Where is the Battle for the Cowl part falling into this?
Well, Birds of Prey ended as a result of Battle for the Cow.
Really?
Yeah, because essentially they're either breaking everybody up or making them fight for the cow. So Oracle being a former Batgirl, decided to strike out on her own because God knows why. It's not clearly covered in this series.
Or if it is, this is the perfect example of a side project being thrown together and attached to a storyline that doesn't seem to hold a viable part of it. Now, maybe there's something hidden that'll come up later. I don't know. But as of right now, it's more like a filler.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, where's the mute Batgirl in all this?
Oh, Cassandra's something or other. That's a really good question because I didn't follow her at all. Because there's just a limit. You have to cut off some books somewhere, or you'll be spending your entire goddamn paycheck following one company.
That'd be you, not me.
If my paycheck said $5,000 every 2 weeks instead of $1,200, maybe I'd do that.
I can see where you're going.
But no, I have no idea where Cassandra's coming from, where she's going, anything like that. However, there are rumors and indications that there's going to be that Batgirl is either going to come back, or old Barbara here might be. I mean, she might be cured at the end of this. Who knows? The cure for what? Don't know. It wasn't clear to me.
That's a good point.
So she might be taking that mantle back.
All right, fair enough.
So, right.
Battle of the Batgirls.
I would pay real money to see that live.
I don't doubt that.
In Jello.
You're a jackass.
Right. Superman, Batman, 42 and 43. The Wonders of the Dollar Box. I love the dollar. Absolutely right. And I was mildly confused at these, although it wasn't too difficult to pick up because it was only 2 and 3 of something. But I like this series.
Batman was dating Orion's wife.
Yeah, I was confused about that. This is what we get for being out of new issues so fucking long.
So this was sort of a prelude to Final Crisis.
It was the tail end of Countdown. Well, it was about halfway through Countdown, which was an immediate lead-in to Final Crisis and Trinity. So we all know what Trinity's all about. So
I have no idea what Trinity's all about.
Fuck a Trinity. Right.
It was a fun read.
Burnett, Nguyen, Win, actually. I found out Nguyen is Win.
Well, I'm lost.
What, the name?
Win?
Dustin Win.
Lost?
Yeah.
Win?
No.
When?
It's spelled Win. It's pronounced Win. Nguyen, this right here, that's Win. I don't know how, don't ask me why, but I've talked to 3 people in the last month on the phone at work whose name was spelled like that, and they answered the phone saying Win. So, it's fucking Win.
Everybody's a winner.
Not always. Superman, Batman, 59. The final, God, thank you, Lord, final portion of the Microverse saga, such as it was.
Classic world finest storytelling at its worst.
Yes, absolutely correct. From the opening right up with the insane Superman to the crazy bat armor that I don't remember how he got, to the uniting of the society to battle the bad society.
Dust mites going to war with robotic dust mites.
Yeah, it's wow. And then building monuments to Batman and Superman, like there ain't enough of those floating around the DC universe.
It's a full-on, it's a world finest storyline, beginning to end.
It's definitely straight out of the goddamn late 60s up to the mid 70s, somewhere in there. Absolutely. Which, for the retro fan, is perfect.
It wasn't a bad read, but I can't endorse the book on the storyline.
No. And I have liked retro stuff. It's fine. I get a quick story that doesn't mean anything. That's just an adventure. I don't have a problem with that.
This is the exact kind of storyline that results in things like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Too true. Because now somebody's going to want to revisit this thing, and they got to figure it into continuity, and it ends up being a mess. So, now, to switch it up, we go to our first free comic day book, Blackest Night 0. I enjoyed this. Not immensely, but I liked it. I did. I
particularly enjoyed
dug
the
hell out of
introduction
the art.
to the different ring colors and characters at the end.
Yes, that was great. And Hal and Barry talking about, how each of them died. I got fucked over because I was crazy. You were a saint. It's a rather good point.
Hal is bitter.
Yeah, well, Hal is, he's willful.
Who knew?
But, yeah, it's like you said, it's definitely a good start.
What I liked about this, the book, and particularly that little exchange, is how it built off of the Brave and the Bold miniseries that Wade did a few years ago.
Yes, absolutely.
The relationship between Hal and Barry.
Oh, and you'll find out in that little bag for next week, I got a couple of more issues of Brave and the Bold out of there.
Ah.
New ones, the new series.
Oh, there's a new one.
Only 2 years in. It's Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Ah.
Your boy.
Love that.
By my black hand, the dead shall rise. That's kind of frightening.
The use of the black hand is very
Yes,
interesting.
I like that very much. Very much. Nothing bad to say about this one.
Here's my question.
Yes.
You've got Sinestro and Black Hand.
Yep.
Name 3 other Green Lantern villains.
Ooh, Green Lantern villains.
And don't use any of the new Ring characters.
You know what? I never did follow Green Lantern that closely. I read a lot of
You follow comics well enough you should be able to name more than 2.
I followed Green Lantern Corps in the late 80s. And they were singularly unimpressive since I can't name a single storyline from that
Jack
book.
T. Chance.
Jack T. Huh? See, I know a bit of history, but you're a fucking historian with the extra N and the E.
Ah, okay.
'Cause you're a girl.
No, but that one of the major problems with certain characters is they don't develop wide villain bases, so you have problems with returning villains.
And yet somehow Green Lantern has lasted. The prevailing wisdom as a hero is known by his villains, but all Hal's really got is Sinestro, which is a powerful villain,
Phenomenal villain.
a great villain, the kind of villain I like. The Imperious, I know what the fuck's going on. I'm going to mold the world to what I believe is right kind of villain. But he's still pretty much alone in that, in this context.
The Return of Black Hand is an intriguing... And last time I saw Black Hand, I believe he was running a porn theater that Guy Gardner was frequenting back in Justice League Europe.
Why do I not doubt that? Prelude to Blackest Night, Green Lantern, number 40, with the amazing Agent Orange. Wow. Could this villain get any more childlike? Mine, 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 all mine. Every time he said that, I was thinking Daffy fucking Duck.
How do you imagine put that together, but that works?
Every time I read mine, I thought fucking Daffy. And I'm quite happy with Johns' writing. I found out just yesterday he's only been, a notable pro for like 10 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's all. And Philip Tan, again, is, quite nice.
What I liked about this book was the concept of the orange rings, how it's only one guy, and the people he consumes become minor rings under him.
Right.
Which, the whole greed aspect. So it was very well thought out, and I enjoyed reading it. But again, the whole Green Lantern Blackest Night thing is so dense of a storyline. It's very hard to follow.
And I got the feeling
things going on.
I get the feeling when it really ramps up, it's only going to get that much worse in that respect. But hey, if it ends up with a good story that keeps me engaged, I will be happy with Dents. I won't have a problem with Dents. But this backup story back here
Which one?
with the cleaner alien that just like the rat alien that follows up behind him and just eats everything.
Well, that's the alien that they're fighting, so
Woo!
it's his origin and how he got. Yeah,
A cleaner slug. That's an incredibly disgusting concept.
the worst when he starts eating people.
Yeah. But definitely I'm sticking around with both GL and GLC till Blackest Night's over. Pretty sure GLC will be done because again, got to draw that line economically somewhere. But if Johns can stick on, if they'll let Johns stick on GL, I will stick around as long as he will.
Fair enough.
Wonder Woman 31, Rise of the Olympian, where we get a little bit of a surprise, huh?
Which surprise are you referring to?
The surprise that, spoiler alert, genocide is a future Diana.
Yes.
Not an unheard of plot twist.
Not enjoying this book.
Not unheard of from you either.
I've never been a big Wonder Woman fan. I make no bones about it.
The problem is that Wonder Woman usually does make bones for somebody. I'm
Hi, kids. For those of you who are not paying attention, that was a pun referring to his penis. You should probably stop listening.
We at the Meat and Geek do not endorse minors listening to our podcast. I still like Bernard Chang's art. I'm really happy with it. It's engaging. It's expressive. It's clean. I dig clean art.
He's a good artist.
I can tell what's going on. I know what I'm looking at when I look at it. There are artists running around who get so busy or so abstract that you like it, but you still have to work at liking it. Like one of your man crushes, Billy Sienkiewicz.
Love Mr. Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, no, I dig at it. I will look at anything he draws, but you do need to work at it sometimes.
Did you ever read his Classics Illustrated version of Moby Dick?
No.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that it was incredibly hard to follow.
Also very condensed.
Yes. Because we don't need, a chapter and a half describing the signs related to whales on inns for sailors. That's what killed me on that book. I could not continue after that chapter. I got a half a chapter after that, and I'm like, you know what? I can't deal anymore.
You still owe me a copy of that.
Yes, I do. And I'll find you a nice copy one day. Because I did kill that thing. I left it in the back of the car, and that was the end of that. But I think Simone's got Diana down.
Yeah, I don't
the
have
character
a problem with the
herself.
characterization.
Yeah.
I just don't care about the weird god war with Zeus, the rise of the other Olympian. Like, there's just, it's very reminiscent of Perez's run back when Wonder Woman revamped,
Yeah, I can see that.
and it's just not doing much for me.
Well, if you don't want to deal with her history, what would you like to see Wonder Woman work on? That I didn't intend that.
No, I mean, I think with the Steve Trevor and there's just way too much going on in the book. It's always been a very convoluted book. The last time I drew it, I think Loeb and Diodato were doing it, and even then it was not a favorite.
Well, I like Diodato. I think he's calmed down quite a bit in the last couple of years because he was definitely trying. He was in that bad girl cheesecake thing in the 90s. He absolutely was. Except maybe in Thor.
I'll give you that, but as an ex-reader of She, I'm not sure how much you can judge that.
Well, no, it's because I'm an ex-reader of She that I can judge that properly. Having established that, Dark Avengers 4. This thing's growing on me. I was mildly resistant to it because I hate the idea of Norman Osborn being in charge of anything. But anytime I get to read a well-done Doom, I'm down.
Thus far, I mean, I really don't enjoy seeing Morgana Le Fay.
Yeah,
but
her we could have done without.
I like how they have a book following every Avengers group at this point.
Yeah.
So you're seeing both sides of the same war in a sense. And the character development is well done. The movement between Venom and Hawkeye / Bullseye.
I like him counseling Norman on the whole time stream thing. Because if anybody's going to know, it's him.
No, Doom was very well done in that book.
We don't have to go back to the exact moment. We could... No. Don't we have the opportunity to wiggle some things around? No. Trust my superior intellect and experience. Nothing good comes of abusing the time stream. Nothing at all. That doesn't sound like the Dr. Doom I, for a man whose rise to power leans so heavily on the precise timing of a lucky moment. You should be happy to be exactly where the fates put you. Okay, well, you got me with that one. Let's go.
No, it's a fun read. I don't know how long they can continue it, because much like Thunderbolt, my interest may wane quickly, but...
Right. But this spread here of Castle Doom, wow.
Yeah, it's some good art going on.
I love that right there.
Who drew that?
That's Diodato.
Is it?
Yeah, right there, baby. Barreto. I think Barreto's got a leavening influence on his pencils, but you don't see too many unnatural poses here anymore, like you did with Wonder Woman.
Or
you don't
Thor.
You don't see any legs that are longer and wider than the woman's torso, including her breasts. Nothing wasp-waisted here, which is good for Betty Page, but not so much Miss Marvel.
Fair enough.
So I like Diodato's stuff in this far, far, far more than anything I've ever seen from him. And the Sentry coming back at the end, ooh, doggy. Norman's fucking nervous, man. He's sweating and everything.
Sentry is a very strange character.
He is, but he's on top of being strange, he's also mildly complex. I mean,
did you ever read the original Sentry miniseries?
I have most of it. I never did find a couple of them, but I liked it. So, Dark Reign the Cabal. Luckily, this is a one-shot, because I would not throw down dough for this again. It's just more negotiation. It's just Dark Illuminati again.
Yeah, it's sort of the anti-Avengers Illuminati.
Right. But
I like the Doom fantasy where he's taking out the entire Cabal team.
Yeah. And then they moved into the Namor, and I was like, yeah, I can see him holding court like that, but frankly, I hate this art.
I just hate Namor.
Namor could be an undersea Doom. He really could. He has the imperiousness. He was
back in Supervillain Team Up.
Supervillain Team. You heard it here, folks. When was the last time you ever heard Supervillain Team Up? Just that line. Just those words together at once. Supervillain Team Up. It was a book. It was a real book in the 70s.
Yeah, it was around for a while.
It was a decent book, too. But nobody ever talks about it anymore.
Shocking.
So, Supervillain Team Up Redux, back on the pile.
There you go.
A big throwback all the way 7 years ago. Another, this was the quarter box, actually. JLA Volume Pi. It doesn't even say which volume it was. It was 2002. Golden Perfect. Something about Wonder Woman again, and her golden lasso, and
was that the thing?
Mankey was doing it.
That's with the Eden world where the lasso shattered because there are two truths.
Yep.
Yeah, not badly done, but I honestly, since I had not read anything before or after, had nothing.
Hard to deal with.
Just a tad.
She was a bit strident there, and she just didn't see any tolerance for. I can see it. but she just had absolutely nothing. She didn't want anything to do with it. She saw a woman who she believed was wronged, and that was the end of that.
It's a hard knock life.
I'm going to try to find the other two of these to have it finished out. But Doug Mankey, very good stuff.
I always enjoy the classic Major Bummer.
And you were digging the hell out of Plastic Man, weren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, you always love Plastic Man. Legacy, Star Wars number 35.
Damn it.
Any improvement? None at all? It's moving. The plot's moving forward a little bit. I read this in the car while my dad was having a cataract operation.
Edit number 2.
Yeah, I think this is another one on the chopping block.
I just don't care about new Star Wars characters. I can't put it any finer than that. The use of Vader is iffy at best. It does nothing for me.
Yeah, figured as much. Alright. Right. Moving on to Dynamite Comics. From the pages of Project Superpowers. Masquerade, number 3. I like the retro vibe off of this one.
Yeah, this book does nothing for me. To me, it reads like Alan Moore's Tomorrow Comics. It's got that. It's a retro feel, but that's about it. It's playing more on the retro vibe than great storytelling or anything else. I have not read Operation Superpowers, so I'm half-assing the plot line.
Well, I don't really think they're tying together all that much, because I don't feel like I'm missing anything except maybe character backstory by not getting the rest of
Yeah,
it.
but there's this whole superhero slaughter storyline in here, or disappearance, that I assume is playing out in Project Superhero.
It probably is. But, again, economic lines are drawn. But, I dig it. I'll keep it till it doesn't dig me anymore. So, not a whole lot to say about that one. Did I get you to 1 and 2 of Flash Gordon?
That was the first one I've read.
God damn it. I gotta stop forgetting to give you stuff here. But this one was kind of tight. There's a nice little reveal at the end.
I was actually surprisingly intrigued by Flash Gordon. Liked the art a lot.
Yes. It was very, J. Scott Campbell,
Yes.
Chris Bacallo. It was very much like that. So, Paul Green, not a bad guy. Brendan Deneen, he can script.
No, they made me curious to read the ones before it and the ones after, so, I gotta give that the nod.
There
Flash
we go.
Gordon is, of course, the king of retro characters. But
absolutely right.
I have
But
a
you
soft
didn't
spot in
agree
my
with
heart.
Buck Rogers on that one.
No, I loathed Buck Rogers. But to be fair, I liked Flash Gordon when I was a kid. Not a piece of crap movie, but, the old retro books. And
Well, you only hated it because it was Queen.
that didn't help, but there are other reasons to hate that movie.
It was pretty poor. Actually, they were in one of the shops we visited on FCBD, Alternate Universe, where you can visit the awesome Eric, who's helped me out a couple of times. They were playing Flash Gordon on the big screen in the shop. Dun, 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 dun.
He's part of every one of us.
Such a bad fucking movie.
Do not endorse that film or soundtrack.
Right. So Flash Gordon, right now, it's a grab.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Back to Free Comic Book Day. Arcana presents Cade. Pretty fucking standard story.
Hated.
Yeah, I didn't dig it. The art was way too dark.
I'm an Undying Warrior. It was basically a Valiant book.
Yep, pretty much. I know everything's happening at night. I understand that, but it just smacks of I'm a young independent artist trying to impress you.
Yeah, but to be fair, the ad for Onion Boy, the Onion superhero.
Where was that? At the end? In the back?
You see this?
Onion? What? Who? Which one?
Maybe it was Garlic Boy. Yes, Garlic Boy. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't really down with that. It's not I'm looking at it and like it could be playful, but it could be incredibly boring. So I wasn't happy with Arcana. I mean, how many times can you go through the whole I'm mad because my wife is dead and oh look, she's back, maybe, but she's probably dead.
Yeah,
so
nope.
Fucking zombie lovers. What the hell? More FCBD, the Death-Defying Devil Special. I didn't know what to make of this thing. I really didn't.
Well, this falls back into the whole Project Superheroes, and again, does nothing for me.
But, I mean, it was interesting to see the Claw again. Because when have you ever in your life seen the Claw, except for pawing through history books about comics and seeing Daredevil battles Hitler?
Yeah, well, who doesn't miss that?
Well, yeah, but if this Claw backstory is not made up just for this issue, then the Claw is a much deeper character than I thought.
Or they've just built him up.
Yeah, it could be, but it's incredibly short, and the rest of it's ads, which even free kind of irritated me. I looked over Death-Defying Devil a couple of different times, and I kept putting it back on the racks. So I thought I'd read a story if it was free. But what was this, an 8-pager?
Did this endorse?
Didn't really give me a
book
lot.
Based on this?
No.
Well, that says it all, really.
Yeah. Somebody else will have to read a few things and recommend it to me. But Stuff of Legend.
Love this book.
I am ready to read the full series here. I was quite intrigued by this. Now, Toys Coming Alive is nothing new.
No, thank you, Pixar.
But the art is just wow.
And the story, the writing is excellent. The
yes.
art is excellent. The concept, I totally enjoyed. Seriously looking forward to the regular book.
Yep.
Big endorsement.
Got to watch for this.
It's a writer-artist, right?
Yep.
And what's his name?
He is, where is he? Story by Mike Raked and Brian Smith.
Oh. Okay.
Illustrated by Charles Paul Wilson III.
Well, Charles Paul
Who
Wilson
will meet you on his fucking yacht in the Hamptons.
Partner, do you have any gray coupon? No,
Yeah.
great
No,
book.
I enjoyed
Seriously
the
excited to
fuck
see the
out
rest
of this thing, man. I would love to read the rest of this story.
If this book follows the Free Comic Book Day comic, then this is a graphic to buy and to own.
Absolutely right. Cannot wait to go find this. I'll have to mail Cabo this week and make sure we get one. Battlefields, the tankers. I watch a lot of BBC America. I watch the occasional British flick. I like most British actors.
I lived in England.
I can follow a large degree of UK accents, but was this guy Scottish? Is that what he was supposed to be?
It's a dialect. It's
Alright, doing there! Shift over, I'm coming in! Driver! Advance!
writing an accent for a different culture is a faulty premise at best.
You try to follow it, and it's right. We've cut you up with the rest of the squadron. Keep gunning, so wait, gunning, keep gunning, keep gunning.
Ugh.
I can't do it. It made me think of that goddamn G.I. Joe book with the tight wee barons. That I couldn't follow either, but I can follow the other characters well enough, and I like them.
But so far, the Battlefield's just like chopped down World War II stories. It's a fun book. There's nothing particularly special about it.
Right.
He's re-gone to the World War II a few too many times now.
Yeah.
You've got Enemy Ace. You've got your favorite, Adventures of the Rifle Brigade.
Avoids all kinds of Turkishness later in life.
Yes. You've got the series I love, which was the unable to remember the title.
What? Which what? When?
What he did those World War II, the 4 World War II books. Then he did it again.
Right, you got me.
God damn it! Vulture, C for Condor.
Well, that's a lot
The
more books than I
Reavers.
knew he did. He's quite prodigious, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, but all he keeps revisiting World War II, which is intriguing, but he's not really plumbing new ground with any of this stuff.
No. Well,
He's rewriting the comics of his childhood.
well, with lots of fucking squares.
Yeah.
But you know, of all the ways you can say fuck, I like fucking best. But no, good is good enough for me personally.
Oh, it's not,
Something
it's not
doesn't
bad.
have to be phenomenal for me to really dig it.
Ennis, to me,
So
to me,
far-
Ennis has done enough
World War
intriguing...
II stuff.
No, not even that. He's done enough things that I've enjoyed and been impressed by that I'd like to see something a little bit different.
Well, I mean, a straight military book, how much more can you really do with it?
Maybe write something else. But then he's also doing The Boys, which I'm not really reading, so...
Yeah, well, we did go through that trade, and we did like it.
Yeah,
But
I've never followed up, though.
I don't know. DC Kids Mega Sampler with some Tiny Titans, which you despise, and I was sitting with my nephew when I read this,
Yeah.
and he followed it, and he was like, "Yeah, okay," and I'm trying to see it through, a 10-year-old's eyes, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I can remember the kind of stuff I was reading in 3rd grade. I wouldn't have been impressed by this.
My major issue with Tiny Titans is it's a really clever concept, and they do some funny things, but only if you know the Titans books from 20 years ago do you get the jokes. Otherwise, it's basically a bad Archie comic. And really not that fond of Archie in my latter years.
No. And I don't get the tough cookie story either. I don't. Oh yeah, she calls some birds over, she feeds them, and then somebody walks by and she scrams them away so she doesn't look like a sensitive, caring human being. And then she goes back, and that kind of was like,
Yes,
who
but
cares?
Who was calling the birds over?
I don't even know. Raven? Was it supposed to be
Exactly.
Raven?
And if you know who Raven was like in the Titans book,
No, see, I totally didn't catch that because I didn't know anything about that. The Titans? What? Who? I don't give a shit. So, Free Comic Book Day, Aliens. Dark Horse is going back to the well. Which, from this particular story, I'll give it a go. Because
you were a big Aliens fan back in the day.
Well, yeah, but they started getting incredibly convoluted and stretching so far away from the basic horror aspect of it that I was just like,
Much like the movies.
Yeah. Who needed Resurrection? Fuck that movie.
We're not bitter here. No.
No, I spent my $7.50. Bastards. So, I wonder when they're going to give up, or if they're going to give up the whole, I'm a scientist and I'm fascinated by the xenomorph thing. Because, that's been in every fucking one of them.
Yeah, but to be fair,
So you could either say that it's, a core aspect of humanity that they want to investigate the unknown and the somewhat frightening, or you could say it's a hackneyed piece of shit that needs to be pulled out of the fucking storylines in the future.
it's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, well, I'm black and fucking white.
It's a classic hackneyed piece of shit.
And the Predator story in the second half?
Yeah.
I think they might be, well, again, I'll pick up the first issue of each and see what's going on. But this short story was definitely, that's far more along the lines of what I want to read in a Predator book. I don't want to see, but this cover here, Pray to the Heavens, I don't like, is that just stylized, or is that armor actually supposed to be like
I
that?
have
Because he
no
ain't
idea.
fucking moving in armor like that.
He's an alien. They move differently.
They really don't. They got 2 arms, they got 2 legs. And there's only so many ways those can move.
He has a catfish face.
Catfish face. Right. Alright, so we're done with that one. We go over to a black and white for FCBD. Queen and Country, which I was pretty sure was already a series, wasn't it?
I'm not familiar with it, which is not to say it doesn't exist, but I don't know it.
Right.
It was your basic cloak and dagger, chick bond kind of thing.
Yeah. But done by the usually spectacular Rucka, which I was quite happy with.
It was a fun read, but I wasn't dying to follow it any further.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bother, but I did dig it. I heard a couple of shops saw a huge jump in their Queen and Country sales last week.
Really?
So somebody's digging it.
No, it was intriguing.
And another one of your big boys there.
I'm supposed to hold on to that one. Crap.
Cho.
I love Frank
With
Cho.
Jungle Girl. And her
Not so
big
much in love
wide
with the Jungle Girl.
You love the Jungle Girl.
I love Liberty Meadows. I've never read Frank Cho's Sheena. This is my first experience with Jungle Girl. And this would be the bad girl cheesecake art to the finest.
No, this is the good girl cheesecake art.
I'll take your word.
Well, she's not exactly bad. She's just a jungle girl. If she
And
was a
jungle
bad
girl?
girl, she'd be like, jungle bitch. Never mind. You didn't want it?
No, I forgot I was supposed to keep it.
I made sure I got an extra copy just for you.
Oh, my Lord.
You're a Cho guy.
I do like
You
Frank
like Cho girls.
I hated that movie.
Cho girls.
Ah.
I finally found the missing haunted
haunted
tank
tank.
that we looked at 2 weeks ago and said, where the fuck was 4? Well, here's 4.
Didn't help.
And frankly, it didn't improve it any. It was kind of funny what the soldiers were doing, because it's always funny to watch soldiers banter off each other, but this is where he gets the curse. It was an okay read. I almost certainly would not get a regular series for it.
No, not without a major change.
Now, another set of stuff to drool over here. Mark Miller. I still want to say Millar, even though he's publicly said, pronounce it Miller, please. And JR.
Love me some JR.
Kick-Ass 6. This
I
thing
had
is getting
two-
harder and harder to fucking find all the time.
I had previously read a compilation of the first 2,
Yeah, so had I.
and this is my first experience with it since, and I can't wait for graphic, because this is a great book.
Yes, it is. Reminded me a lot of Tulip and her dad for a while, until her dad became the fucking Punisher.
Actually, you know what it reminded me of is another JR art book, which was when he was doing Daredevil with Bullet. and
Yes,
his son.
yes. You're absolutely right. Who remembers Bullet? Nobody? You guys suck.
Anyone who can tell us who Bullet is can win a autograph by the Mean Geeks copy of Punisher
Punisher Warzone miniseries, The Return of Manucci #1. I'm just gonna pick somebody off the forums and send it to him.
Honestly, we may just mail it to a random person in Idaho at this point.
This thing is so much fun, though.
Reading that
As
after reading the
brutal
first
as it is, it's still fun too.
I can't wait for a graphic of that. Yeah. Kick-Ass is a must-read, ladies and gentlemen.
Totally love this book. The little betrayal at the end, though, kind of irritated me, because I thought they were building something together there.
Well, without having read the middle ones, I can't comment.
Right.
But looking forward to seeing where it goes and having to catch up and find out where it went.
Right. It's so worth it. I just troll around. But it's been a year plus. Well, right around a year.
Just shy, but yeah, close.
And they've still only gotten up to 6. I'm kind I'm kind of irritated by that. If I was certain that this was a bi-monthly instead of like the indicia says a monthly, then I could deal with that a whole lot better.
It's very impressive art, so it probably takes a while, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait if they'll come out and say, look, we're trying to make this thing incredible, so we hit delays. But I haven't read anything anywhere that even remotely indicates why it's so friggin' late all the time.
That's why I do the graphics.
Right. Captain America, Theater of War, Brothers in Arms. This was definitely Cap. I had no problem believing anything he did in here. I had no problem believing the Nazis, the secondary Nazi commander being a total prick. I had no problem believing that. I believed everyone who spoke in this thing, but it's still,
it's fun, but it just makes you miss Cap in his own book.
Yes, absolutely right. That's where I really think I was going. But I don't express it nearly as well as you.
It's because you're an idiot.
There's that civility, folks. They really, and this endless one-shot stuff is killing me. I just, if they're going to have alternate, older stories with Cap in them, just give them an out-of-continuity series.
They tried that a couple different times.
Sentinel of Liberty.
Yeah, it's
right, Duke. We're getting close, folks. Almost there. How much, and I want something really expressive out of you on this one, how the fuck much did you hate Attack of the Alterna Zombies?
Well, it's hard for me to put this into words. But let's assume for a moment that I was trapped in a room covered in mesh wiring underneath a Jenny Craig class with explosive diarrhea and no toilet. And as the shit drained down upon me, I would still think to myself,
at least I'm not reading Attack of the Alterna Zombies.
Lincoln and Jesus fighting zombies may be the single dumbest concept. And you're talking to a guy who likes Sam and Max Freelance Police when I say that. Guys, I endorse the heckler. I will wholeheartedly recommend that you read Major Bummer. I think Battle Pope is funny, and this is a lump of shit. Again, we return to, if you can't say something nice about a comic, say nothing. I obviously don't follow that philosophy, but even if I did, I would tell you that this lump of crap will crawl up your leg, enter your anus, and friggin' damage your lower intestine out of sheer spite.
Now, it was a sampler. It did have other stories in that were unrelated, but this huge one in the back, this guy in the prison, the chair.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I am so sorry, Peter. Peter, I mean, he could probably end up writing. He might be able to do a good turn on writing eventually. But I'm sorry, Mr. Christensen, but I can't look at this art for any length of time. Christ Almighty, it hurts. This is what I saw people like Dan and other budding high school artists do when they thought they were trying to be different. And it's just, I don't have a huge need to follow anatomy, but I have to be able to tell what the fuck I'm looking at any given moment. And it just, I had to look at this like 5 times to really say, oh yeah, okay.
Still hate it.
And it's just the extra crap. I mean, there's so many shadows everywhere. Almost nothing is really well defined. And I'm sure that there's somebody out there that digs it. And, what's his face? Mr. Christensen should make a good living off the people who want to see that. But he's not getting my butt. Sorry, fellas. Seriously, I don't Everyone has their tastes, and mine doesn't gravitate that way. However, Jesus Hates Zombies. I laughed my ass off in the bowling alley. I'm never gonna buy it, but throwing a bowling alley through a bunch of zombies, that's a pretty good. I like that.
I loathe.
I'm on a big zombie kick right now.
Yeah, that is true.
New and imaginative ways to kill zombies is something I'm looking for.
Lazarus, the zombie sidekick, was funny. Barring that, this book...
And Lincoln Hates Werewolves.
Yeah, no thank you.
Can't do it.
This book is a colostomy bag waiting to be attached.
I tried really hard to read Risers, but oh my god, it's everything that makes the big two is not in this book. There's a reason those guys sell that many thousands of copies, and there's a reason the indies sell 50 a year.
Yeah.
And the reason is fucking art like this.
Did not care for it.
I mean,
Which I think I've made clear. What do we got next?
I desperately don't want to be too mean, but I just can't get across how little I liked any of that stuff. And it's going to sound even dumber and even more tasteless when we move on to Peter David's She-Hulk 23, 25, and 26.
Loathe! Horrifyingly bad. She-Hulk and her Skrull partner.
I don't know what it is, and I know what your follow-up line to this line is going to be, but I've always had a soft spot for She-Hulk.
Yeah, in the center of your brain.
See, it was gonna be brain or crotch, folks.
No.
He was either gonna be, oh, you got a hard part for the She-Hulk.
No,
but
this book is appalling.
No, I really didn't think that. I really did not think that at all. It's adventure. It's not great adventure, but I do like banter. I like banter. Now, come on, The Absorbing Man? I know you're a fan of The Absorbing Man.
I like The Absorbing Man. I hated the storyline. I hated the Skrull partner. I hated the Skrulls are people too concept.
Yeah, that one, I wasn't down with that. I was like, no, they're not. They're fucking aliens.
They were helping who turned out to be evil.
Yeah, he irritated me.
I hated the couple making up where the wife died and yet was still alive to have the final moment with the husband. This is writing 101.
Because that's never happened before. But now at least we know where that crazy-ass elephant fucker came from.
Fair enough, but not really a blessing.
Well, you got your wish. The book doesn't exist anymore.
And it shouldn't. That's my problem with this book. It's not like this is a book that was canceled and people were disappointed. This is a book that you look at, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to last.
But when was the last time you saw The Badoon?
Never.
That was a nice choice. I've read about The Badoon. I've never seen The Badoon. So, it's nice to see something you've never seen before, but that was about it.
Yeah, I've never seen an elephant anus, and I'm okay with that.
Come on, you've been involved in it.
I've never seen frog penis.
I wasn't drinking at that point. It doesn't count. Alright, so we're creeping up on an hour. So we're getting real close. We're almost good. Free Comic Book Day, The Avengers. Bendis, Chung, Morales, and
That was a fun
Rausch. Yeah, I liked it. It was a good done in one. It went through the whole book, which most of the other FCBDs didn't bother doing.
And it involved both Avengers teams, which I liked.
Yes. I was quite happy with it.
The best thing going on in Avengers is the use of Spider-Man right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so happy with that. He's a good character.
Yes, he is.
So, yep. Go see if you can find one of them.
Definitely, right now, reading Bendis' Avengers is wholeheartedly recommended.
Our last floppy of the evening, then we'll get into a couple of quick trades. Dead of Night, Werewolf by Night. Wow. I knew you would look at Werewolf by Night and say, what could they have done to my Werewolf by Night?
I have not missed Werewolf of Night one iota. I mean, why not bring Jonah Jameson Jr.'s Star Wolf back if we're going this route?
Oh, you dug it and you know it, man. You've got more Werewolf by Night than any person I've ever met.
I had one, and
which
you own
is
it.
more than I've ever met anyone own. Sorry, that it's a factual statement.
I like werewolves. And, the book is it's a Max book for a very good reason.
Yes.
It was very vulgar and nasty.
And,
But I didn't feel it was going anywhere exciting or anywhere I particularly wanted to go.
Well, they definitely turned it more into a straight horror book
Oh,
than a
absolutely.
simple. This is not stuff that they would have done in the 70s with the original series, particularly with the "it was a girl" reference at the end. That was just... I read that and I was like, oh
Well,
my
that
god,
was
that's
nasty.
fucking sick.
But it was a small point of horror in an otherwise mediocre book.
Yeah, right. Moving on.
Are we up?
We're good. We're into a small stack of trades. New experiences for me. Nearly all of them. Well, actually, all of them. I've never read any of these trades before, but no, I've read Superman, Batman's before,
Well, let's start with
and I've
that.
read Ultimate Spider-Man's before. So, Superman, Batman, Supergirl, Loeb, Turner, and Superman, Batman, Absolute Power, Loeb, Pacheco.
Absolute Power was actually the first of the Superman Batman series.
Yes. So, it sets everything up.
It's a fun read. It's the end of the Luthor presidency, which I've been curious about.
Right. And there's girls in tight black clothes. There's more. Look at this. This seems to be a theme in Superman, Batman. Those little statues of the pair.
And Green Arrow.
Well, there's the statues. They're all over the fucking place. Everyone's got a memorial to these guys. So, I have a lot of fun with this book for the most part.
I really enjoyed that one. I love Loeb as a writer. I love how he does Superman. I love how he does Batman.
And in the Lazarus Pit with all these fucking... all the dead Justice Leaguers sitting in the Lazarus Pit.
All three of them.
Yeah, because at the time, John Jones wasn't dead.
Now, is he currently, or is he back? Where is he at currently?
He is still dead. Because for some god-awful reason, all the ancillary Final Crisis books still aren't fucking done. I don't know how long they're going to milk that shit, but they need to fucking finish it. I hated that to a degree I've rarely ever hated a book. So, we had a lot of fun with these. We're not going to get too deep. I don't like getting deep. I'm not known for analysis. I don't have an English degree.
That's true, you do not. No, I wholeheartedly recommend the early Superman Batmans. Supergirl with Michael Turner was fun, but Absolute Power is a great read.
Yes, it so was. And Turner, God, it's such a goddamn shame he's dead. Such a shame.
He's an excellent artist.
It was so much good. And despite, his absolute devotion to cheesecake and Fathom,
Never read it.
I haven't either, but I've seen enough promotional material for Fathom where I was just like, I kind of want to read it, and I kind of want to look at this art, but I won't feel entirely wholesome bringing that up to a cash register.
It's a dirty world.
Like Return to Wonderland. Oh my god. Look that up, dude.
Return to Wonderland?
Yeah. Alice all grown up and looking sexy. Doesn't fit.
Weird.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm sure we've just pissed off some Return to Wonderland guy right now, and he's gonna be like, comic book guy on Simpsons. But you do, she was, and fuck the comic book guy. We're not the comic book guys. So much fun with this. I might have to reread this after that stack of other things you gave me. But I'm a huge Superman Batman fan. I don't know if it's officially not in continuity, but
it definitely feels like it's outside continuity.
yeah, which is just fine with me. Because not every story has to matter all the time. And I'm happy with that. I just like a good read. The magical, incredibly funny, perfect comic timing, excellent development, Jeff Smith Bone.
Guys, if you read one thing with kids or as kids, or if you want to feel like a kid again, Jeff Smith Bone is that book. It's an amazing book.
I had the incredible misfortune of being in the army in Korea at the time that this originally showed up.
Really, you could have stopped with at Korea.
Well, yeah. The number of times I had to go to the anyway.
La 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 la, my oh my.
There's so many good things to say about this. I don't even know where to start.
The art, the writing, the characters.
I kind of got confused every once in a while because he doesn't seem.
Well, you read 2 and 3 without reading 1, which is
Right?
never a
No,
good
that's
idea.
not where I'm going at all. Not story wise.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of confused on precisely how old Thorne is supposed to be. Because at points she looks about 10, and at other points she looks about 16, and I just really couldn't tell where she was supposed to be age-wise.
I always took her as mid-teens.
All right, that'll work. But, Phony Bone and Smiley Bone, oh my God. I'm so disappointed I missed this.
Oh, it's great stuff. It's if Walt Kelly's Pogo and Carl Barks's
Ducks.
Scrooge McDuck somehow met in the fantasy round. It's a great book and a great read, and something you can actually have kids read. It was actually reprinted in the Scholastic book series.
Which is the copies we got here tonight.
Yep.
Whew.
No,
God.
Bone comes with the highest recommendation.
I could not believe how much I enjoyed this, because this was one of those books, and it happens with everybody, and it happens with everything. You're going to find a story or a property in media that you missed and everyone else cannot stop fucking talking about. And other things get in the way, and you're like, you know what? I'm getting tired of how much you're fucking talking about this. I'm not going to bother with it because you've irritated me about speaking about it. And everybody does that. Everybody's got a movie that they refuse to see because somebody talked it up way too much. Everybody's got a musician that they're like, I don't give a fuck, okay? You say he's good, that's fine for you. Leave me the fuck alone with it.
Sometimes it lives up to it, though.
Sometimes it does, and Bone is one of the ones that did it. The great cow race, oh my God, when they come tripping down and through the race and the rat creatures kind of screw it up, it's comedy gold.
Yep.
Absolute comedy fucking gold. And the rat creatures hanging out trying to hide.
And
Well,
the other thing is, now you're reading books 2 and 3, you start to find yourself intrigued with where the story is going outside of the comedy.
Absolutely.
Like, you're looking forward to reading 4 after that, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely. Kids love the rat creatures, man. But if there's someone out there, it was you who started that riot at the cow race. You're a pain in the butt, you know that? Wasn't anybody out there, was there? No, there could have been. King Doc will never find us. We're safe here. Now shut up and go to sleep. I can't sleep. My nerves are shot. And it's all because of you. Your nerves are shot because you're a pain in the butt. Don't you take that tone of voice with me. Pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. I've rarely had this much fun with a book. Rarely. I enjoy the shit out of it. If they ever do like an absolute Bone,
I think you can buy it as a single volume, I believe.
really, I'm gonna have to track that down, try to find it on something. It's one of the big sites like DCBS that offer like huge. We're not being sponsored. I'm just mentioning the huge discounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would absolutely get a huge hardcover of that because I will reread that. Now, this one I missed, and a lot of people talked about it, and it irritated me to hear about it
One of
because
my
I missed
all-time
it.
favorite books.
Starman, the first trade, Sins of the Father.
James Robinson.
Can write like a motherfucker. This guy's got it together. I got mildly irritated here and there when the father was being mad at Jack, but it went right back to being interesting again. And I can't wait to get into the second one. So the conversation in the graveyard between the brothers, that was pretty cool. And they get into a little fight like brothers will. Not that I know.
James Robinson is an excellent writer. And Starman, he took a minor DC character and rebuilt the whole franchise and made a huge book out of it.
Now, this is intriguing me more to go back to JSA. Because he was in JSA for a while.
Oh, absolutely. JSA was a big part of it.
So that could be a really huge thing. If I can find these in a couple of half-off bins at a con or something, I will snag them.
I totally endorse Starman to anyone and everyone.
Now, here's a little piece that I know a lot of people pretty much jerk off to when they hear Alan Moore. They're like, you gotta read fucking Swamp Thing, man. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, oh my god. I learned more about Swamp Thing in this one book, the first trade, Saga of the Swamp Thing, under Vertigo, than I never knew existed for Swamp Thing.
Now, to be fair, this is reprinted under Vertigo. It was not originally a Vertigo. This is well before
Oh, that's
Vertigo.
right, because this was in the 80s before Vertigo even existed. This is 87.
Yeah, this is just after the movie.
Right.
When the Saga of the Swamp Thing book was being written, and then turned into Swamp Thing when Alan Moore took over in, I want to say 19 was the first issue he did.
Reprinted and originally published in single magazine form as Saga of the Saga of the Swamp Thing 21 to 27.
I'm off by 2.
I think I did at one point have an Alan Moore Swamp Thing because I was big into getting anniversary issues. So I got 50 where they had that weird meeting of God and Satan, this cosmic handshake that I was just like, what's the fucking point of this?
He's a complex.
That was long before I knew what Moore could do or would do. So I was just kind of like,
Swamp Thing is another great read. It is a modern horror book, which means it's disgusting.
But the Floronic Man, they actually made the Floronic Man halfway interesting.
And terrifying.
Who the fuck else could do that?
And this is where his new look came from.
Yes. But this last story in here with the kids and Lucifer running around, that was, oof. I was getting into that.
It's a dark, dark book. Man,
Yeah.
you have book 2 to read now, too.
Yep. I'm going to hit that this week. But there is, and we can't be wholly positive all the time on the Mean Geek.
It's out of character, I admit.
No. That kind of out of character. I sometimes have a difficult time reading the Swamp Thing's own dialogue because those incessant pauses, I read a sentence, I want to read a sentence. I don't want to read 3 words, wait a second, read 2 more words, wait a second. Because, you want to imagine this stuff being said aloud in your head. So, I feel that the green showed me I was more than human.
Plants think slower than people.
Yeah, I can see that. I get it. But it does force you into slowing down and paying attention and putting thought into reading, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
It is a very cerebral book, and only gets more so as it goes on.
But it does take effort to read that dialogue.
And to follow where because the writing is so unique in the style, you have to kind of guess which line comes next in certain panels. So, we endorse that as well. Too bad we can't endorse checks that often. Put them in the bank.
call it even. We're looking for a sponsor, by the way. Buy us a little equipment, a couple of mics, a mixing board.
There you go.
We'd be happy to pimp anybody, because, frankly, I'm a whore.
He is a whore, ladies and gentlemen. Particularly ladies. Although, gentlemen, if he's broke enough.
If the rent's due, I'm not picky. So, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 9, Ultimate 6. I've only got one other Ultimate Spider-Man book.
I have 1 and 2.
But, I saw Ultimate 6, and I saw it half off at Kurt's Comics in Connecticut. It's Kurt's. And I snatched it right the fuck up, because I did enjoy the hell out of 1 and 2, and I wanted to see what else that these wondrous Bendis and Trevor Hairsine and Mark Bagley and Joe Quesadilla could do when bringing in the Sinister Six. I enjoyed large portions of this book.
It's a fun book. I was very disappointed with Craven.
Yeah, that kind of did irritate me.
As you know, Craven's Last Hunt is one of my all-time favorite storylines.
Absolutely true, and worth every second of it. Any accolade you can give that book is deserved.
But,
the turnaround here with Dr. Octopus, I was kind of concerned, because for a while there, I was like, you know, this is the Ultimate Universe. They might have him turn around. And then he kills all those 4 guys, and I'm like, yep, that's Octavius.
it's, the Ultimate Universe is always intriguing to me, because sometimes they follow the same patterns, and sometimes they veer drastically.
Wildly.
And you're never sure.
And that keeps it somewhat fresh until they do something like Ultimatum. So, Green Goblin actually turning into a fucking goblin. I like that, and I didn't like it.
What? Cleared that up.
Well, you know, I didn't need him to be this huge, like, Uruk-hai kind of goblin. I could have done with a Moria Orc kind of goblin for this guy, because Norman Osborn, otherwise, you know, before Dark Reign, Norman Osborn was just a fucking nuthatch that nobody was really scared of unless he was in costume.
Well, I mean, you know, in the business world, and he was a very scary guy, and that's kind of where Dark Reign has built him up, is to have that personality. He's the Obadiah Stane.
That's a very good point. Although he never lasted very long, did he?
Well, he was bald.
Well, you know. Right. So the extra covers were nice. The sketches in the back were nice. I always like seeing the sketches.
Bendis is a great writer, and it's a fun book. Well worth checking out.
Right. So we got one last thing to cover, and then you can go to bed. And
you and us.
We can all leave it alone, and you can take your pain meds and forget about us for another week. Found some stuff on Wired here, and I cover this under the fair use policy of the DMCA.
To be fair, who wrote it?
Jacob Russell.
Very fine.
The top 10 pet peeves of Superman, which I laughed a bit.
Yep.
I was happy with. I'm not sure. I think we could rewrite some of these eventually, make them funnier. Maybe. I'm not a professional writer. You the one with the English degree. You could do it.
I'm a professional reader.
Number 10. Superman constantly has to reassure Aquaman that he's a valued member of the Justice League.
Love kicking the Aquaman.
When hasn't he been abused, really?
All I know is Twisted Toy Fair and Robot Chicken
they have a lot of fun with him.
They've buried the Aquaman.
I don't, I'm a big Peter David fan. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking on that run.
That was a horrible book.
I
bought a lot of them.
I've got multiple books signed by Peter David. I've got a whole lot of stuff he's written. I still couldn't figure out what the fuck he was thinking on that Aquaman. So, another pet peeve of Batman is Batman brags almost daily about all the fan mail he gets from women. Yeah, Bruce, that's great. Yeah, that's seriously, Bruce. How many gigs are you devoting to this on the back computer? And then Lois teases him mercilessly about washing the costume on delicate. DC harps on him not to swear no matter how badly the villains are beating the crap out of him. But being from Kansas, it's probably not that big an issue.
Yeah, you know.
Well, excuse the fuck out of me, Didio, but I tend to think that if Darkseid were pounding the snot out of you, you might have let the occasional F-bomb loose once or twice.
Oh my gosh, my God.
Superman also hates lead-based paint. Jimmy Olsen thinks practical jokes involving green fluorescent rocks are so damn funny. Come here, Jimmy. Let me share some Kryptonian humor with you. No, humans have never seen Kryptonian humor before. This is something just for you. And I'm slurring like a bastard, and I've only had 4 beers.
I've had more.
Yeah, I know you have. So, Wonder Woman's always telling him, lift with your legs.
That was funny.
I got it, Diana. I'm 70 years old. Yeah, I need to take care of myself. You're no spring chicken, you know. Ralph Nader calls him a fascist. Didn't expect a Ralph Nader reference tonight, did you, folks?
Nor should you expect one again.
Dude, I just didn't get what you meant when you said crypto-fascist. I was sort of half out of that conversation. Earthquake in Japan, you know. Crypto-fascist.
Madness.
I had to tell that one to Dalton. He'll love it. Robin the Boy Wonder always asks him to say hi to him in front of his girlfriends. And the number one pet peeve of Superman, for the millionth time, Lois, I'm not looking through her clothes.
Let's hear it for David Letterman.
It's only the Kent's incredible morality that keeps him from doing that.
I think it's only the fact that he does that constantly that keeps him from taking over the world.
Now, this is a bizarre one, and I really don't agree with much of it at all.
Which is it? Which one is this now?
This is 10 obscure superheroes who deserve their own movies.
Shoot.
Machine Man.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $1 to see that.
Nope. They'll probably put it on Sci-Fi Channel one day as a sci-fi original.
Given. I put that on par with Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the David Hasselhoff classic.
Now, this is the one. This is one for the furries in the crowd. There's always one, and they're incredibly creepy. Squirrel Girl.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah?
what the fuck is Squirrel Girl?
I don't know. I have never read a Squirrel Girl book.
You know, I'm shocked to hear that.
It's incredibly difficult to say, too. Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, who the hell knows what... The first person to email us and tell us who Squirrel Girl is...
No, seriously, folks, I really want to know where the hell Squirrel Girl came from. And does she date Raccoon Boy?
Because I'm not looking this up on Wiki. I'm not. I'm just not.
Oh, wiki.
Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. The girls love it when you go wiggy, wiggy, wiggy.
That's an in-joke from a Budweiser commercial from about 8 years ago. Enjoy.
Normal Man.
I remember that book.
I don't.
Have not felt the slightest urge to revisit it.
Yeah, they could probably make it a comedy. Maybe, I don't know, from this synopsis. A powerless man in a world where everyone else has superpowers. Which wouldn't really make him normal man, but...
Abnormal man.
Totally off to the side mutant man.
Seriously fucked man.
Cold Blood. He's a cyborg with the ability to interface with computer systems, which has never before been known in the fucking comics world.
Yeah, not dying to see that.
In addition to superhuman fighting skills and a ray gun in his arm. Fucking Cable?
Deathlock?
Cyborg?
Any other number of lame guys?
Any cyber anything from Image in the 90s?
Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Now, I think you could get into the Creeper, though.
Creeper would be interesting. That'd be a better animated movie.
Creeper could be fun. I could dig on a Creeper. The Question. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
curious.
could make a film noir detective kind of thing about The Question. It could be doable.
As they point out in the article, though, it is a rip-off of the Rorschach character. Or Rorschach is a rip-off, so...
Yeah, absolutely right. Totally true. Moore admitted that long ago. It was the whole Watchmen group was Charlton characters. So, Grimjack,
No interest.
incredibly obscure. No, have you heard anybody ever mention Grimjack outside of the 80s?
Oh, Walsh.
Really?
Yep, our friend John is a huge Grimjack fan.
I didn't know that. One day we'll get him on here. Yeah, so Grimjack, yeah. Cloak and Dagger,
Oh, good God, no.
totally uninteresting. I read them in Marvel Comics Presents in the late 80s, and I was
Sci-fi
like,
original movie.
yeah, that's where that one's going to go. Azrael, not Gargamel's cat. The Azbat. Totally got no need to see him.
I've got flaming swords and a multiple personality problem. Yay
Bye-bye.
me.
Bye-bye. But, a nice anime-style Phil Folio movie about girl genius,
Girl Genius is an internet comic and a great read.
that could be a lot of fun.
It is also one of the most in-depth, pain-in-the-ass things to follow ever.
Phil Folio, he's done a lot of stuff. He's pretty funny. He hosted the costume ball, the masquerade at San Diego last
no
year.
kidding.
Yep, him and his wife.
On behalf of the Jugheads, we say good evening.
Do you have anything to cover? Anything you want to mention?
I'm
Remember,
out,
folks, this is our 10th episode. This is where we start to really go absolutely nowhere. I'm
Please
bored.
write.
I'm out of
Please
things
write.
to say. Please write. Please fucking write.
Good night, everybody.